Anthony Acampora.
Your host, Anthony Acampora. I'm also the director and chaplain at Banyan Treatment Center's Faith and Recovery program. The Faith and Recovery program is a faith-based drug and alcohol treatment program. It's non-denominational. It's Christ-centered. The program is designed to allow clients to establish or restore their faith in God while addressing their addiction. It's an integration of faith and clinical. We have some clinical groups in this program, such as trauma and grief and loss and overcoming guilt and shame. And we also have faith-based groups as well. We have a devotional each morning between 9 and 10. We have a group called Biblical Anger Resolution. We also have a group called Integrating Faith and Recovery. The program's been around it's coming up on 3 years now. So blessed to have it, and also blessed to have this platform to get the word out about addiction and about mental health disorders. A lot of times there's such a stigma and people don't want to talk about this. So that kind of adds to the ignorance on these topics. So I wanted to introduce our guest today. We have a great guest. Her name is Courtney LaBonte. She is a global goodwill ambassador. She began a referral site for individuals seeking treatment 8 years ago. Her motivation behind this was that her family endured tremendous suffering. The site is here for anyone who in the country who's actually in need of help. And we're just blessed to have her. She's going to get into it a little bit more and talk about this, but she just does tremendous work and really helps a lot of people. She has tremendous compassion, and blessed to know her. Here she is. Welcome to the Faith and Recovery Radio Show, Courtney LaBonte.
Thank you for having me, Anthony. Definitely wonderful to be on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for waiting and everything, and your patience. She has a lot of patience too, because there was a couple of things going on here that we had to delay. So Courtney, it really is great to have you on. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself in a little more detail than what we just mentioned on your intro.
Absolutely, yes, I am a global goodwill ambassador, and I'm so grateful to be a part of that because we're able to link together and work on the same passions. Like you and I both are focused on addiction and helping people. So I think that's wonderful. And I did start ctsuboxone.com 8 years ago or so, and it was because of what my family endured, and there was a lot of pain and suffering due to loss from addiction, heroin overdoses.
Oh.
And it's been difficult. It's been very difficult, but I wanted to take that and help other people so they didn't have to feel what I felt, what my family felt.
Right. You develop such a compassion for that people that are suffering with similar things when you go through it, that it's hard to, just have that without it sometimes,
It is, and there's a lot of stigma, like you said, and there's a lot of silence. People don't want to admit, or, families, they don't quite understand it, and it is a disease. And it's proven it is a disease of the brain. People don't choose this. It's a disease just as cancer and should be treated as such.
Right.
And I just find it very hard. We lose so many people every year, and I believe it can be prevented if more people are raising awareness and stopping the stigma and saying it's okay to be honest and say I need help, and that's the first step, is saying I need help.
Right. And what prevents that, though, oftentimes is like what you're just describing, is because people look at it not as a disease, and it was your choice, and you did this to yourself, so now here's the consequences, deal with it. That keeps people from coming out and admitting that they need help as well, rather than if they just had a heart condition or something else, it's easier to admit that or go get help or go to the hospital or the doctor. But when you're talking about mental health disorders or addiction, it's very difficult.
Or both, they're co-occurring.
Right, exactly, yeah. So, and you're dealing with both too. I mean, so often it's co-occurring in, dual diagnosis. So,
Right.
what was it that that really motivated you? I know you said, your family and things, but was there a certain point in time? Was there something that, really hit you and you said, I want to do something about this. I have to. I feel dedicated. I feel led to make a difference.
Absolutely. It was my brother, and not really comfortable going into details about that, but, it started with my brother, and, it was just so difficult, and there wasn't much help out there. And I decided, look, I'm going to develop a site, and it's going to be there for people, and it's going to be there to guide them. They can call me, and I'll refer them to a facility. And it's helped almost 5,000 people now to that place,
Right.
And my best friend, she lost her daughter 3 years ago, and I just saw her this morning, and it's very difficult to look in her eyes. It'd be 3 years on September 12th that she passed away, and it's just so difficult to see the pain in parents' eyes, and it's just hard. It's hard, but I know that my voice matters. Everybody's voice matters, and the people that can't or can't speak up for themselves or are ashamed to, I'm that voice, that the other one that listens and tries to get them, treatment. I work with Coterras out of California, and they're a great placement facility as well. And I have a lot of respect for them, and I look forward to, in the future working with other facilities so we can, take all of these efforts and combine them, because I think with more people, we can help more people.
Yes, absolutely. You mentioned the families. We just had a family conference last week, and like you said, when you look into the family, they almost always all have the same look in their eyes, and it's just it's a fear combination of just bewilderment and like I don't know what to do. And it's great that we have these conferences, and it's great that the families, some of the families actually come out, because it's a 2-day event and they're learning so much about addiction, about how it affects the brain, about all these things. And the main thing is they realize they're not alone. They find comfort seeing and meeting and hanging out with other families, and they could talk about it and they could build those relationships with other family members. But I think it's so hard for the family because they're in the dark most of the time. They don't really know what's going on. They're just worried, they're fearful, they don't understand it, and that is...
And there's blame.
And there's blame, yeah. Well, yeah.
What did I do wrong?
Exactly. And that's another reason why the stigma is so strong, and why it keeps them back, it holds them back sometimes from talking about it, because then it's going to be like, well, if I say my son is on drugs or my daughter is doing heroin or whatever, they're going to look at me and say, what the heck did you do wrong? Where were you? So
Exactly.
why would you put yourself in
Exactly.
why would you put yourself in that position? So for all those reasons, that's why I love this radio, because somebody will be driving right now or listening, and anonymously. They don't have to go and have all those fears of people blaming them and stigma and things like that, and they could hopefully learn something from this show, and they could do it in a way that's anonymous.
Yes, I agree. And you're available. You're the company that you're with, and CT Suboxone. We're not just with one place. We refer out to different facilities, inpatient, outpatient, and I know right now the market's shook up and people are afraid of different facilities. I don't want to go too deep into it, but I do believe in inpatient care, and there is still good inpatient care.
Right. Absolutely.
And, asking for help is the most difficult part. But, anybody can feel free to contact me, ctsuboxone.com, all the information is there. I'm the least judgmental person there is, and very compassionate.
Yes.
And, when you're gone, you're gone. And, there is life, and it's worth fighting for, and it's not easy. but it's worth it because the pain that you leave behind is so difficult.
Yeah.
And I'll say on the 24th of this month, next Monday, I lost my brother-in-law. It'll be 3 years from that, from an overdose. So, you know, it ran really deep in my family, and it hurts, and they don't come back. And I really just wish more people would say, you know what, I want help.
Yeah.
I want help people. I want help myself. You know, it's okay to want help.
Great, great, absolutely.
It's just hard to make that first step.
Yeah, it is. It's very difficult to take that first step for all those reasons, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of other reasons too that we don't even realize. But you know, it's very, very. I could hear it in your voice. I mean, this is a tough month for you, you know, and I really appreciate you coming on during this month.
It's crucial. It's a crucial thing. I have to, you know. I have to, you know, keep talking and keep letting people know that I'm here and I care and you care, and there are good people out there that will help.
Yeah.
You know, and people that struggle with this disease of addiction, you are not that definition. The disease does not define who you are as an individual.
Right. Absolutely.
And there's men, women, aunts, uncles, moms, dads, you know, and there's so many children that are being left behind with no parent. That's another issue that isn't brought up enough.
Yeah.
You know, the children that are suffering without their parents because of this disease, and it's preventable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's preventable. There is Narcan, and I believe that everybody should have Narcan. You know,
right.
It's not an answer. It's not the solution, but it does save a life.
Yes.
Not in all cases, but it does.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. We're going to need to take a quick break. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Daniel's Faith and Recovery Radio Show. We're here with Courtney LaBonte. We'll be right back.
Are you struggling with addiction or mental health disorders? Banyan Treatment Center's Faith and Recovery program helps people at the depths of their despair, spreading the word that recovery is possible through the power of Christ.
Cry out to him. Where are you, God? Where are you? I don't feel you. Where's your presence? Why are you allowing this to happen? He already knows our thoughts anyway. We might as well just put it out there.
Program Director Anthony Acampora will help you discover how God can turn your mess into your message. Call Banyan Treatment Center for help now. 888-230-3122. Again, that's 888-230-3122.
Welcome back to the Daniel's Faith and Recovery Radio Show. We're here with Courtney LaBonte. I'm Anthony Acampora, your host. This is the Daniel's Faith and Recovery Radio Show. We're having a good conversation here, and we're talking about the stigma of mental health disorders and addiction, and how it has such a negative impact and just an underlying impact to this. And it's very difficult to move forward because so many people oftentimes are embarrassed, even their family's embarrassed to say anything about this, or then there's the blame game, and you know, a person doesn't want to be blamed for something. They think maybe they did something wrong as a parent, as a brother, as a sister, whoever, and so it just kind of stays in the dark, right? So we're trying to shine a light on this, and what we were talking about with that is in treatment, you know, when someone comes in and basically the addiction's the tip of the iceberg, right? Everything else is underneath the surface. That's really what has to be dealt with. All the pain and the reasons why the person used something to not feel that pain, right? So, but we really, unless the person was there before, you really only know what's going on with them by what the person's telling them. It's not like it's a physical injury, or you could take a blood test and say, you have this, this, and this, and this is what you need to take for that. So that's why it's so important with emotional issues and pain and trauma and shame and guilt and all these different things to get that stuff out, to talk about it, to be transparent. That's the key. That's the key to getting past this stuff. You have to go through the pain to heal from it. Otherwise, it's still there and nobody really knows what's going on. And people look at you and you think you're fine. No, you look okay. You know, come on, snap out of it. Let's go. What's wrong with you? and you're not okay. You know, it's all emotional stuff, but we have to get this stuff out. So, Courtney, I want to ask you this. What is the most difficult aspect of being in this industry from your perspective?
I see it with insurance. You know, a lot of individuals don't have the best insurance, and you know, I don't think that money should be a factor in the type of treatment an individual should get or receive. And a lot of people don't know, you know, there's a lot of working class people out there that, you know, struggle with this disease. And there's the Family Medical Leave Act that they can use and go into inpatient treatment if needed. But that is available. And a lot of people don't know that. And I think it's crucial that they do. Mm-hmm. And the transparency that you were talking about is also very true. Somebody can look fine. It's like an invisible disability. But they're, you know, it's not just stop doing it, you'll be fine. You know, it's all in your head. No, it doesn't work like that, because if it was that easy, then we wouldn't have this epidemic.
Right. Yeah. True. So true. Well, let me ask you this. What's your focus going forward? You know, and this is obviously a difficult month for you with all of these anniversaries and losses and things like that, and it's so awesome that you're on this show today during this very difficult time period, you know. But that's something, like we were talking about off air, is so important. Stay out in front of these anniversaries, stay out in front of these things that where you could slip up, and have things planned and have people in place, have a support system in place. You know,
Right.
Stay in front of it, and it's great that you're doing this, and we really appreciate you coming on, especially in this difficult month. So just get back to that question.
I feel blessed to be on here.
Yeah, thank you. Where's your, what's the focus going forward for you?
Focus going forward is to try to work with different facilities out there. You know, and they can contact me again. I gotta say, at ctsuboxone.com. My information's on there for individuals that need help, or individuals or treatment centers that you know, want to help, you know, collaboratively help these individuals, because I believe that, you know, there's more power behind the numbers. So if we could all come together, I believe we can have a much bigger impact in helping individuals.
Right.
That's really my goal going forward.
Excellent.
And, you know, not staying silent and continuing what I'm doing, and, you know, letting people know that it's okay to admit that you need help, you know, and to save your life, because that's what it's coming down to.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you for sharing that. It's so true. And the silence, you know. What do you think, let me ask you this, what do you think it will take to end or really have an impact, a major impact on the stigma related to mental health disorders or addictions? Like, what do you think has to happen from all the people you deal with and the interactions that you have? Is there something that could be done, or could there be a change in direction, a shift that has to happen for this? Because we talk about it all the time, you hear it all the time, there's annual events all the time for stigma,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really seem like, I don't know, to me it doesn't seem like there's any difference really, maybe a little bit, but I don't know, what do you think about that?
For that time period, what I believe is that, you know, it needs to start within the school systems, you know, early education on what this does, and teaching, you know, kids at a young age about drug abuse and what happens, and also within the home, you know, early warning signs, and pay attention to what your kids are doing, who they're hanging out with, talk to them, make sure you know what they're doing, you know, keep them involved in the community and school activities and so on and so forth. And pay attention to their mental health. You know, are they acting strange? Or, you know, are there any signs that are not right? And talk to your children. Pay attention. And then on the other end, there's people that do get injured, and they go on pain medication, and it's all downhill from there. Not in every case, but in most of the cases I've come across. And they think that they've done something wrong. And I think that, you know, they should not feel ashamed and look for help, because it's not hard to find. And just know that, you know, there's no coming back when you're gone. And it hurts like hell to lose anybody to this.
Right.
I did an event in July 21st. It was with Vin Baker, former NBA All-Star. We did a 5K event, and it was excellent. And there was a lot of pictures everywhere from all the people, not all the people in Connecticut, but a lot of people of all ages. This does not discriminate. Age, creed, gender, socioeconomic, none of that matters. This disease does not discriminate. And looking at all of the pictures of the individuals that we've lost, it wasn't just the person, it was their talent, who they were, the musician, the artist, the funny person, the lawyer, the doctor, it just doesn't end.
Yeah.
And it was so difficult for me to see those pictures. And it was just very difficult. And every year they have, the setup rally has, in August, they go to Washington. And I believe that it needs to start there as well. There was a bill that was just put through, but, we don't know where it's going to go as of yet. But I believe that it really needs to start in the schools, at home, and with it in government. We need help. I mean, when there's like the storms that we just had in South Carolina and North Carolina, FEMA comes out and with the Red Cross, why aren't we doing something for these individuals? That's my question.
Right. Like you mentioned, we're losing a lot of people, but we're losing a lot of talent and talented people.
We are. We're losing a lot of everything.
Yeah.
And, this disease is also hereditary. So you look at the fact that there's children that are being left behind that are predisposed to having this disease of addiction. And them fighting through those feelings of not having their parent because they died from an overdose. And it's tragic. It really is. I wonder all the time, like, when is it stop?
Yeah.
Because it's like a domino effect.
Yeah, it's a domino effect, and it's a ripple effect of something like that. Somebody commits suicide, somebody overdoses or something. It's not just that immediate family, and it's the extended family, it's the friends. I mean, it's impacting so many people in such a negative way. What I see with our clients in the faith program, I mean, I don't even really pay attention to the past and their background. It would be harder to deal with them because who knows what some of these people were doing, right? But I see people that are compassionate. I see people that are honestly, genuinely from the heart trying to help each other when someone's upset. They're praying for each other. They're giving them different things to encourage them, different books and Bible verses. And, so if we could separate the actual addiction, the person that's in active addiction from the actual person, they're two different people. And
totally different.
It's so important for people to realize that because they have this certain perception of an addict, a drug addict, and they are some of the smartest people I've ever met. I mean, it's just absolutely
truly
right. And I mean,
truly.
just amazing, like insight and just different talents, whether it's music or different things, even speaking. So. We just have to, like, stuff like that, I think, has to get out there more. The positive side of people that are, for the most part, good people, caring people, compassionate people, that turn into like a monster when they're dealing with whatever they're addicted to,
Right, and like I said, the disease does not define the person.
Exactly.
So you are not your disease, and I think a lot of people that are in active addiction believe that, or they believe that they can't get out of this. But I do believe in faith, I believe in God, and I believe that there are good people out there such as yourself, and I can't even name all of the wonderful people I've come across.
Right.
But, asking for help, paying attention, start teaching this in school. They used to have a DARE program. I don't even know if that's going on anymore.
Yeah.
And, September is August 31st, Overdose Awareness Day. We need to do more collaboratively together.
Amen.
Because this is not acceptable.
Yes.
We're losing more people every year than we are from the than we did in the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How is that okay?
Yep.
You know, and it really upsets me that more is not being done. Why heads are turning? Why aren't we doing more? Why aren't we looking at this?
Yep.
And, you know, I stayed on, I left everything and slept on my mother's couch for years, just helping people. There was no income, no nothing. All I did was help people every single day.
Amazing.
And
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. People like you. That's beautiful. Any way that you want anybody to connect with you or follow you, we got about 30 seconds left.
You can find me on LinkedIn, Courtney LaBonte. I don't do Facebook, I'm sorry. Or at ctsuboxone.com, info@ctsuboxone.com. And again, I work with Soteris out of California. It's a great company. They also help with placement. I help in Connecticut and I help nationwide. So wherever you're from, if you need help, call. I will help you find treatment. Or call Anthony. He'll help you find treatment.
If you or someone you know is in need of substance abuse treatment, contact us at 888-270-5712, or you can reach us at faithinrecovery.com or banyontreatmentcenter.com. And thanks so much for listening. Psalm 147:3, He heals the brokenhearted and He binds up their wounds. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you, Courtney. Thank you for coming on.